Hey guys, hope you had a very Merry Christmas. This is going to be hopefully a quick video because I haven't made one like this in a while. 2013 is coming to a close tonight, and I figured I'd make a little 2013 video. But first, a lot of people have been asking me what I got for Christmas, so I'll tell you. The main thing I got was a PlayStation 4, which is right there, and I finally got a 1080p HD TV, which is right there. And I also got some games for PS4. I got Call of Duty Ghosts, Battlefield 4, and Killzone Shadowfall. So if any of you guys play those games and you want to play with me on PlayStation Network, I'll post my username right here and you guys can add me. And I also got WWE 2K14 for Xbox 360 because they didn't release it on any of the new systems yet. And I got some PlayStation cards and Xbox cards for downloadable content. And I finally went out and got a phone case for my phone because nobody seems to have anything for this phone for some odd reason. If you guys have a store near you called Mobile Phone Pros, I highly recommend it because they have pretty much every kind of case for pretty much every kind of phone that there is, obviously. And if you need a phone case or some kind of accessory for your phone that you can't find anywhere, go to them because they most likely have it. Alright, so now as I mentioned before, and as you all know, 2013 is coming to a close. So I'll just talk about some of the highlights of my year. In May, there was a show that came to a club called Club Zoo in Pittsburgh that I went to called the Don't Pray For Us Tour. If you remember my video about that, then you probably know what I'm talking about. I killed the Prom Queen, Chimera, Motionless in White, Whitechapel, and Asking Alexandria. Now I know a lot of you guys hate Asking Alexandria. I don't really hate them, but I'm really starting to strongly dislike them because Danny's a jackass. And I'm just honestly getting tired of them because, you know, I've seen them so many times, and I wasn't even going to these shows to see them. I was going for the other bands, and they just happened to be there, and most of the time they were headlining. So I'm just sick and tired of seeing Asking Alexandria plastered all over everything. But that day, I got to hang out with the vocalist of Whitechapel, Phil Bozeman, and I got a picture with him. I got to pretty much sit in lawn chairs with him outside of his tour bus and just sit there and shoot the breeze for 10 minutes. And not too many people really get to do that with him, so I thought that was pretty cool. He was very nice to me, and you know, he's just a really nice guy. Then a couple weeks after that, there was a show that I was really excited for. It was at the Ross River Ice Garden Arena in Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania, and it was Korn, Device, and Love and Death. I had never gotten to see Korn before, which a lot of people thought that was crazy because, you know, everybody sees Korn, you know. I was mainly going for Device at first, but I've always loved Korn ever since I was young. And honestly, their stage show is like unbelievable. I mean, they don't have like a whole lot of, you know, crazy stuff going on, but just them live is just awesome. I've never seen a live band have that much energy in such a small, confined little ice rink or whatever the heck kind of a venue that was. If you guys know what like Planet Ice, or not like a hockey arena, like a little ice skating rink or something like that, if you know what those look like on the inside, that was basically what this venue was like. And for probably, I'd say 600 people maybe, that place had a whole lot of energy, and I really did not expect that. Then in the end of May, a lot of people probably know what I'm about to talk about because this got a lot of hits on my channel. People from school that might be watching this remember this very, very well. I did my first talent show performance at my high school, and all I did really was a live vocal cover of Disengaged by Suicide Silence, but what I did and how I did it was sort of two different things. Like, a lot of people have probably tried that in different schools, just, you know, screaming a song and all that for a talent show, and probably haven't had a whole lot of a turnout for that. I know one of my other friends that it the year before, and I mean, he did very well too, and he had another friend of mine on guitar for him too, but And it seemed like a lot of people just didn't get into it like you would expect them to. But after that, I had an idea that year, that the next year, which was last school year, that I was going to try that myself. And every year they do the talent show for Relay for Life Day, which that's a cancer awareness day, and it's like a fundraiser type of thing all day. I have a video about that. You can check that out later if you want. But yeah, I was thinking for about a year that I was going to try to do this. So what I did, I came out, and instead of just coming out, doing the song and leaving, I kind of involved the crowd a bit more. I came out and I talked to the crowd for a minute. I said, forget how I put it. If you consider yourself a metalhead, raise your hand. And a bunch of the kids in the room, in the auditorium, raised their hands, they screamed, they yelled, they hooted and hollered. So after I saw how many people were going to get involved in this, then I knew exactly what to do and what to say and how to say it. But then I said, for everybody that raised their hand, come up to the stage. So then all those kids that were all full of energy at that hour in the morning just stormed the stage and sort of made a little mosh pit in front of the stage. So after the song started, there was practically a circle pit in the auditorium, and a couple of kids started crowd surfing, and I thought that was amazing. That was absolutely awesome to me. I was mind blown by that. There was crowd surfing, there was moshing, there was practically a circle pit. The teachers and the staff did nothing about it because they knew what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. And at the end, after everybody was all wound up and into it, then I hit them with the serious note that, that day was not supposed to be all about fun. It's not supposed to be, I get out of class, or, I don't have to do anything today. It's a free day. It was for cancer awareness. And I told them, we're here for one universal reason. And that reason is not for metal, it's not for the mosh pit, even though it was really cool. And it's not for, getting out of class or any of that kind of stuff. It's to battle cancer. I know a lot of the kids personally, and they have had people in their lives that had cancer or died from cancer or battling cancer at the time. And, that kind of just woke them up like that. And after I said that, I noticed they seemed to go harder that day with all the other activities than they usually did. So I thought that I made a pretty positive impact by saying that and by doing that. And I'm planning on doing it again this year, but I'm probably going to do it a little bigger and a little better. So keep your eye out for that sometime in late May. Then came Mayhem Fest 2013, which was a really great day. Me, my mom, my friend John and his dad all went to Mayhem, and that was a very fateful day for me because I'll get into this a little bit later, but that was the day I finally got to meet Ronnie Cannizzaro from Born of Osiris face to face, and we actually started to get close after that, but that's a whole different story. I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, we had a really great day. All the sets were awesome. John missed a couple sets because he went and got something to eat, and I didn't. Everybody did awesomely. And Rob Zombie headlined, which I thought that was really good. Five Finger Death Punch was the co-headliner. Mastodon was on the main stage. Amon Amarth played. Born of Osiris, Motionless in White, Amur, Battlecross, Job for a Cowboy. There was just so many awesome bands that day. It was ridiculous. And we went to a couple of signings. I went and pretty much hung out with Job for a Cowboy before the main stage started, and trust me, if you ever have a chance to meet Johnny Davey, he's a really great guy. He's awesome. I got to talking to him and all the other guys, and at the time I was about to hit 1,000 subscribers on here. They were all congratulating me on that, and they said, Johnny started the same way that I did, just screaming in his room, covering other people's stuff to himself, just practicing and learning vocal. That just kind of spoke to me in a way that if somebody who was doing that 10 years ago, starting out like that, can make it into a major death metal band like Job for a Cowboy today and be headlining shows, then anybody can do it. If he can do it, and if I can do it, then all of you can do it too. I, for one, am not headlining anything yet, of course, because I'm not in an official band yet. but I'm working on that. We also went and hung out with Battlecross. That was really cool. We got to meet the openers, Thrown Into Exile. Evan Seidlitz is an awesome guy. He's friends with me on Facebook. He's friends with my mom on Facebook. I used to talk to him a good bit. Thrown Into Exile did not break up. For those of you who might be thinking that, it's the same bunch of guys, but they're just changing their name. And Mayhem was my mom's birthday. Actually the day after my mom's birthday, but the way she justifies it is she was born sort of like in the middle of the night, so half of her came out on the 11th and half of her came out on the 12th, which I think is hysterical the way she says that. But yeah, so we celebrate the 11th and the 12th because the 12th is usually when either Mayhem or Warped Tour comes around here. So in 2012, Warped Tour fell on the 12th out here. And we got to meet a lot of the bands and all that. This year, Mayhem fell on her birthday in the same venue with two of the same bands that we met in 2012, which was Born of Osiris and Motionless in White. So we had a good time with that. I thought it was pretty cool. My mom got a lot of birthday hugs and a lot of birthday autographs, and it was really cool. And for those of you who are wondering, she turned 56 this summer. So that's one reason why it was such a big deal to these bands, because I guess they consider her old. I don't, but, she's older than a lot of their fans, put it that way. And then after that, it was actually like 5 days later was Warped Tour in Pittsburgh. And honestly, Warped wasn't as fun as it usually is for me, because it was no problem for me because, I didn't mind doing it, but I was with a couple of girls, and her mom, the one girl's mom was with us, and she has a lot of health problems, and, she got physically ill, and she had to go to the intensive care unit thing at Warped, and I was kind of watching over the girls all day, so making sure they didn't get hurt or making sure nothing happened to them, because that was their first Warped Tour, and they didn't really know what was going on as far as like how the whole thing worked and all that. So I just kind of watched them, and I went with them, or they took me wherever they wanted to go, and the only bad thing is I missed like 20 bands I wanted to see, but I got to see a good bit of them at other shows, so it wasn't much of a big deal. So fast forward to November 10th, 2013. It was Veterans Day weekend, and there was a show in Cleveland, Ohio called Ohio Metal Fest. This honestly was the highlight of my year. It was honestly the best show I've been to in a long, long time. And there's a story behind it. It got announced in September, and I knew one of the bands for a good while before that. Born of Osiris was on the bill. I got to know Ronnie very well after Mayhem. We were friends on Facebook, and we talk all the time. And I know his mom very well. My mom knows his mom. We talk a lot, and we got very close. And we had just mentioned we might go, we might not go. We don't know if we could pull it off because it was in a different state. And then fast forward a few minutes, and we ended up getting put on the guest list by Ronnie Cannizzaro, which was very cool for me. That meant a lot to me. Just the offer to be on the guest list. That was awesome. But everything worked out, and we got in for free. I got to hang out with Ronnie. We missed Davey though, because God knows where he might have been. We got to hang out with Lee. John idolizes Lee because, they're both guitar players, and, John just loves his work. And, he's an awesome guy. You might not really get that vibe from him though, because he seems like he's kind of self-reserved a little bit. He's kind of backward. But, once you get to know him, once you get to talk to him, he's a really awesome guy. We got to see Joe Burris, the keyboard player. He's funny as crap. He's awesome. Cameron Losh is awesome. We got to see him too. He wasn't at the merch table when we saw everybody else. We ran into him right before Asking Alexandria was going to hit the stage, and he's a bundle of fun. He's awesome. He scared my mom to death though. kind of came up behind her without her knowing about it and gave her a big hug, and she almost cracked him in the face, not realizing who it was. But yeah, they're all a bunch of awesome guys. If you ever have the chance to go see Born of Osiris, I highly recommend it because they're awesome. Their live show is amazing, and they're one of the best live bands I've ever seen. So they're just great. And I got to meet Spencer from Periphery, which that was awesome. I love him too. I've wanted to see Periphery for 3 years, and I finally got to meet him when I was talking to Ronnie. I met Frankie Palmieri from Amir, and Frankie is just really awesome in person. You know, he's really sweet. He's a nice guy. A lot of people think he's, kind of nasty in person, but I didn't think so. He was really nice to me. I got to meet Shaylee from Dayshell, and he was also the clean vocalist in Of Mice and Men for a while. So that was pretty cool. Ohio Metal Fest is an awesome show. I heard they're doing it again next year, probably at the same venue. I'm hoping at the same time because it's over Veterans Day weekend. So yeah, I'll hopefully get to go to that again next year. And I'll just tell you a little bit about Ronnie Cannizzaro and Born of Osiris. When you get to meet somebody famous like that, a lot of the times they don't stay in touch with you. They say, oh yeah, well, I'll find you on Facebook, or I'll talk to you, stuff like that. And a lot of times they never do. But this time it was different. Ronnie is a really awesome guy. Like I said before, he is just... I love that guy to death. He's like a brother to me. They all are. Ronnie actually takes the time to talk to you. I consider myself close with him, and I hope he considers me close to him too. So one day I came home from school. I think it was like the 3rd day of school this year or something, and I had no idea what I was walking into. I walked in the door, and there was this little package wrapped with like birthday wrapping paper because my birthday was like the week after. I couldn't really read the address at first, so I kind of like really had to look at it. And I noticed it said Illinois on it, and I was thinking, wait, Illinois? Isn't that where Ronnie's from? So when I opened the package, it was from Ronnie, his mom, and practically his entire family. And they sent me a birthday card, and Ronnie sent me a Born of Osiris shirt for my birthday. So that was really awesome. I framed it. This was the card. This was the envelope on it. Down here it says, love, Karen, Katie, Joey, Steve, and Ronnie, and all of us from Born of Osiris. So I'll show that to you. I don't know how well you can see that on camera, but I just thought this was really sweet. This meant the world to me when I got this that day. I still have the shirt. I wore it in one of my covers, I think I might have. I wore it to Ohio Metal Fest. That just meant the world to me, what they did. And that was when I realized, I'm more than just a fan to Ronnie. That was when I realized, we're actually close now. And I thought that was really awesome. But anyway, the funny part of it was when I went to the fair that week, we were thinking, what could we send back to them as like a thank you gift? So there was this booth at the fair that had a bunch of like Indian shirts and a bunch of just cool, almost like tie-dye shirts in there. And I knew Ronnie liked that kind of stuff because when I saw him at Warped Tour a couple years ago, he had an Indian tank top on. So I was thinking that might be a good gift for him. I got a picture that they sent with all of their shirts on. There's Ronnie on the right. His mom's in the green shirt, and next to her is his stepdad. And down beside him and his mom is his little sister and his little brother. I also got him a shirt with a big bear on it that was like really kind of burly looking. It had like a sword on it, I think. And the bear had like war paint on its eyes and stuff like that. And I thought it was really cool. And the reason I picked the bear was because of the Chicago Bears. That's where Born of Osiris and Ronnie and all them were from. They live in Chicago, Illinois. And I know he's a Bears fan. So we sent that out to him after the Indian shirts that we sent to him. And he got it just in time for the Bears versus the Pittsburgh Steelers game. So we practically subliminally watched that together because we were watching the same game. And he had his Bears shirt on, and I think I had the Born of Osiris shirt on that day that he sent me, and it was pretty cool. That's a little bit about my year, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have an awesome new year, and I'll see you in 2014.